going to dance. We're going to dance. We're going to dance and have some fun.
When Deee-Lite dropped Groove is in the Heart in 1990, it was simultaneously a throwback to the style and vibes of the late 60s, while futuristic in its sound and worldview. A product of an open-minded New York City club scene, the group just oozed fun and positivity, and you couldn't escape the unforgettable green-screened music video that featured Bootsy Collins, bodysuits, platform shoes, and the disembodied floating head of Q-Tip. Front and center for Deee-Lite was Lady Miss Kier, whose soaring vocal hooks were supported by everything from slide whistles to samples from the Green Acres theme song. This week, we're joined by Mark Popeney to learn everything we can about this beloved dance band and see if we couldn't ask for another.
One hit is all you need to make the money guaranteed, and you can live off royalties forever. And it makes me wonder, is it just a wonder, or is it one hit thunder?
So, I don't know if either of you guys watched the show Severance, but
Yeah.
you did.
Yep.
But there is a phrase that you'll hear a lot of times on that show that is praise Kier. And that is what I'm prepared to do today. I'm ready to praise Kier because Lady Miss Kier of Deee-Lite, I have a lot of great things to say about her. And just Deee-Lite in general, I can't believe we're 300 plus episodes and haven't done this one yet. But welcome back to the show, Mark. I'm glad you chose this song and this band to talk about.
Astronomical, Chris.
Yeah.
Astronomical, as Bootsy would say.
There you go.
I was blown away when I saw the list and like chilling in the middle, sort of not attracting a lot of attention was Deee-Lite's Groove is in the Heart. And I can't believe nobody had taken it. It feels like it's in the vein of the CNC Music Factory kind of stuff that people of a certain age just have burned in their brain that somebody would have snatched. So thanks for leaving it for me, everybody.
So
Excuse me.
someone did pick this song, I want to say, before we even did 100 episodes. And then it was when I was recording in Pittsburgh with Chris, they had to cancel for COVID purposes.
Yeah.
And then this sat on the shelf for a couple of years. And I think I said something to him about like, are you ever going to do that one? And he's like, nah, probably not. So
Mike Sabosley, right?
Yeah. So it's back on the list, and someone jumped on that immediately, and with good reason.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause, like you said, this song rules.
This is a really fun song, a really fun group. They began in New York City in 1986 as a duo, and of course, it is Lady Miss Kier, real name Kieran Magenta Kirby, on vocals, and Super DJ Dmitri, who was the Russian-born Dmitri Brill, was the DJ. I thought it was pretty cool. Lady Miss Kier is originally from Youngstown, Ohio, and then as a kid, she lived in my town of Pittsburgh, Virginia Beach, and D.C. And we're going to get real into her as we go on here. Of course, they were really on the cutting edge of sampling. No, not that sampling hadn't been around even since the 70s, but it really was becoming a part of mainstream music, and this definitely played an important role in their music. And even their production company was called Sampledelic. And in a world of slop, I really appreciate the fact that Lady Miss Kier did all the graphic design for their albums and their singles and their flyers and their posters, because their whole throwback retro aesthetic was a big thing. Like when you think of Deee-Lite, if you're like me, probably one of the first things you think about are the outfits and the sort of flower power look to their music video and stuff. And yeah.
They get associated quite often early in their career with the native tongue hip hop movement. Mm-hmm. And that's all over this as well, right? Like the three big branches of the Native Tongues posse was the Jungle Brothers, De La Soul, and A Tribe Called Quest. And even on this big hit, you've got Q-Tip showing up. You've got the like De La Soul style, like flower power backdrops and stuff like that. Like it is very tied to hip hop while not really being a hip hop song. This song rules.
Well,
like,
is there a better guest verse of this kind of early 90s dance club hits crossovers? I feel like that Q-Tip verse is just good. It just sounds good. Like it's so much sort of more real sounding, I guess, like actually
he's
like
he's at his peak power.
Yeah.
They literally just put out their first album when this came out. Like this isn't scenario Q-Tip. This is like I left my wallet in El Segundo era Q-Tip. He's still so young and fresh at this point.
He is so cool, and his voice is so cool. When we talk about like greatest MCs of all time, I feel like Q-Tip kind of gets forgotten sometimes, but he is just so smooth. And if you're talking about like conscious hip hop, I think he's one of the greatest. Yeah, and the fact that he's on this song and also recognized what was cool, what was tasteful to be a part of. He's part of this. Yeah. And then you see him on like Beastie Boys albums, and just where he popped up at this moment was always just like felt like the right place to be.
Well, and you mentioned like sampling, right? Being a big part of this. I mean, if you think of Tribe and stuff, like the sort of jazz rap, like sampling was all in that, like as opposed to some of the other, like there's a lot of funk sampling in this kind of thing, but also just like sax. I mean, they had the horn players from P-Funk in there, like playing like live horn parts, and it just sort of feels of a piece to what the sort of aesthetic world would have been. And you mentioned like the graphic design, but there's also a third member of this group, right?
Yeah.
Toa Tay.
He came
who's like the sample guy. Like he's maybe not as much of a musician as Dimitri was, but he's the sample DJ guy and also a graphic artist. So I don't know if she did all the records or if he did some of the art too, but like that, the style was such a big part of their vibe that it just feels so New York to me. Like at least to be, what was I, like 8 years old when this came out or whatever, my conception, whether it's, you know, Do the Right Thing, kind of just the pop color and style of just the internationalness of New York City also. Yeah. I mean, we got a Ohio transplant via Pittsburgh. We got a Korean Japanese guy and a Ukrainian guy, I think, in this group playing this kind of music that just feels very of an era and of a city on some level, at least to an outsider.
Well, and you know, you talk about the sampling, right? And this is like become one of my favorite music factoids. But this is sampling on that same level as what we talked about maybe a year prior with like the Dust Brothers doing Paul's Boutique with the Beastie Boys, or years later with like Avalanches doing their album, where you are like, they are finding some deep, obscure little moments and turning it into something magical. And my favorite fact is that the I that's in the background is a sample of the Green Acres theme song when she says a line in the theme song, and they just took that I and just started like hitting it into the little sample board, and it's like, it's probably one of the most iconic moments of the entire fucking song.
Yeah.
I get allergic smelling hay.
Yeah, I get allergic smelling hay. Like, she says that.
So weird.
It's amazing.
That's awesome. And Mark brought up, Toa Tay? Is that how you say his name? Or Toa Tay?
Or Tay, maybe?
Yeah, or Tay. He joined them a few years later after they started in 1988 because he sent them a bedroom demo tape he made, and they realized that he was very much into what they were into. He liked the fusion of funk and techno that they did. And he was finding these things and putting them into music. And we'll see with him later, this is what he loved. He loved his record collection, finding things, finding obscure sounds and using them. He wasn't into the being famous and touring thing. In fact, by the time Deee-Lite was finished, he wasn't even part of the group really anymore because he just hated the touring. What he loved, this was what he was passionate about. And you even see in interviews with them, he's very quiet. He's just a guy that liked a specific thing. And it's part of the charm of this group.
Yeah. Well, and I think that in his mind, which is understandable, is like he didn't like touring. And it felt like what he wanted to be doing. And I think that there is a world where this could have worked out, is like almost been like the Brian Wilson of Deee-Lite. Like, you guys go and play the music. I'm going to stay back in the studio and start going through all these records to try to craft what the next album sound is going to be like while you're playing the previous album live. Like it. And I think that there's a world where that could have worked, but it does seem like he's even fairly recently been like, there will never be a Deee-Lite reunion.
Matt,
like,
you
he's
just did
locked in on that.
You just did something that was the first time it's ever been done in human history. Do you know what it was?
Compared Deee-Lite to the Beach Boys.
Compared Toa from Deee-Lite to Brian Wilson. That has in the history of music and podcasting, no one has ever done that before. So congratulations.
But I'm not wrong.
You're not.
Okay. All right.
I don't think, because that is a part of the, like, he bailed halfway through the tour to start working on the second album.
Yeah.
So, like, but I think maybe there might have been conflict also possibly about that. It wasn't a mental illness thing like it probably was sort of with Brian Wilson. It was like possibly a band dynamic thing.
Yeah, I think that they didn't love that he bailed mid-world tour.
Well, regardless, I think something else that I wanted to bring up to you guys, which I think is really cool, is Deee-Lite is happening at 1990, and they're playing both gay and straight establishments. Rolling Stone said that they were drawing a vivid and multiracial and pansexual crowd, and they're ahead of the curve as far as like bringing this to the mainstream. I mean, 1990, people are still pretty backwards. And such a cool thing to be a part of. And even, we'll talk about it later, Lady Miss Kier has been very outspoken and cool for a very long time. But I also want to bring up, which is funny to think about, when you look at their whole aesthetic, what you picture in your head when you think of Deee-Lite, this is 1990, and they're kind of throwing it back to like a very 1969 style flower power vibe, even though their music sounds nothing like that.
Yeah.
Right.
But the way they look, the platform shoes, the one-piece bodysuit, the flowers and stuff. But 1990, you're throwing back 21 years to 1969. That would be if the three of us started a group right now and our whole aesthetic in 2026 was throwing it back to, we really want to look 2005, which I guess would be if we had
undefinable
like an emo band.
an emo band MySpace hair. Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to say again with what you were talking about, Chris, about like how it was super inclusive. There was a quote, and I can't remember where the quote came from now, but it said that as a group, they're a festival of individuality, but as a band, they're a party that anybody can attend.
Oh my God.
And
yeah.
I love that idea. Like, it's just like, you look at that band and it's three people who could not be more different. But when you like watch the live show, it's like, hey, we don't care who you are. You are invited to just party with us right now up on this stage.
Yeah.
Totally. Like, on that note, this is one of those songs. I feel like this is actually kind of a rare category of song where if this comes on, if you're at a party or whatever, everybody's singing along, but nobody can. Because it's actually like, and I have to say, when I listened to sort of just like greatest hits, just a bunch of like a playlist of their stuff earlier today, and I didn't find as many songs that did that, but like, it's a very acrobatic vocal line. I think like, Gonna Make You Sweat, like everybody wants to sing along with that vocal. You can't. Everybody wants to sing along with Fun, We Are Young if it comes on, but it's just too high and too screamy.
Yeah.
Like this song, I feel like it's drawing you into a trap.
Well,
and it's so fun to try and fail,
I think the best example of what you're describing is also Aha, Take On Me.
100%.
Like building up to that final note of the chorus. It's like people are having fun singing along until you get to that last high note of the chorus and you're like, can't do it. hit it. I sound terrible.
That is such a good point, Mark, because it is not only is it up there, it's also she really moves a lot on that melody. Grooves in the I'm not even going to try to do it, but it's not like a one note thing. She definitely has like a little bit of a tough melody to do there. And to her credit, I don't know if Matt watched it, but I sent it to him. I watched them perform.
This was awesome.
I watched them perform it on Arsenio, and she's singing live. She's not lip syncing on there.
Nice.
And she sounds good. And Q-Tip was there too as part of that performance, which, okay, it's on Arsenio Hall. So I guess you would be like, oh shit, yeah, I'm going to go do Arsenio. But I just thought it was cool that even he was there. Bootsy was not there. And Bootsy was definitely like a part of this. I was a little unclear about his role in this because I would assume that he played bass on the recordings, but then there was other people listed. Did Bootsy just do like some
astronomical?
Is that
the
all
groove
he
is
did?
in the heart. He does the call and responses during like her lines and then some of Q-Tip's verses. I think he plays bass on maybe even guitar on a couple songs on that record.
Okay.
But on this, he's just vocals. But yet he's got his bass in the video.
Yeah.
It's such an iconic like look.
Right.
But
it's
kind of funny
clarify,
bringing in.
This is what it says on the personnel of this album. Bootsy Collins, additional bass on the song Who Was That? Additional guitar on the song Smile On. Only guitar on the song Try Me. And he is just listed as backup vocalist on Groove Is in the Heart. So he's not even laying down any bass line in the song. He is just there saying his like little ad libs for this track.
Nice. Yeah, that's pretty funny.
But I think he was just kind of like in the scene with them somehow. Like it seems like considering again the horn players coming from P-Funk. I don't remember which of the P-Funk halves they played with mostly, but there was some connection between one of these three and that band to get these kind of like, because it wasn't just, we're going to sample a bunch of funk. There is, they're sampling, it's not funk, but they're sampling Herbie Hancock, which is this sort of soul jazz stuff from the late 60s. But then you've got this preeminent bass player and you just sample the bass line. You're like, just sample the bass line. We're going to get you to do backup call, like Flava Flav-esque kind of shouts, right?
Yeah.
Which is kind of, I don't know, it's really cool though. Like his contribution is very silly, especially when you watch it, but I love it. I like to see, like there's a floating heads and then it's Bootsy just like saying some, the groove is in the heart, whatever he's saying. It's just so fun.
Yeah.
Like everybody's welcome, like you said.
Dude. Well, and to go back to the horns you were talking about, like the two I was looking this up too, the two horn players on this from Parliament Funkadelic, before they were in P-Funk, they were both touring musicians with James Brown's band. And then in the 2000s, the saxophone player was Prince's touring saxophone player. So it's like these guys are legitimately no joke horn players that have been playing with, I would argue three of the most important figures of funk from the 60s, 70s, and into the 80s and beyond. Like they know they wouldn't do a debut album of an artist like this if they didn't really believe in it. Like they didn't need the paycheck at that point.
Every moment of this song is something that you could pick out and is memorable. There's what I think is one of the most memorable things about this song. We're this far into the episode right now. We haven't even mentioned the slide whistle.
Oh my God.
That is such a memorable part of this song. Of course, the main melody of the Groove Is in the Heart part. The bass line is so memorable. The Bootsy parts, the Q-Tip parts, everything about this song is a hook. And if I have to be critical of Deee-Lite as we move forward, there's a lot of songs I heard by them that didn't have as many elements and sounded a little more almost like, Matt, when we did the episode about Mars Pump Up the Volume, where when it just they sound a little more as this type of music progressed over the decades, things just got a lot more interesting and kept your attention. There were a lot of songs I found in their catalog, even the other singles from this album, which were Power of Love and ESP, not as memorable and not as immediate and as many like memorable things as this song. But this is like a perfect, man, if you have attention deficit disorder, there's this nonstop stimuli through this entire song.
Chris, what do you think about, because I know you talk about this on Krista Makes. This is the lead single on the album, and it's track 9 on the actuals. It is buried in the back of this album.
Interesting.
on the B side of the cassette tape and vinyl. Like, I don't know. I think it's of the 3 singles, it's the furthest into the track list of all of these. You have to listen to Power of Love and ESP before you get to Groove is in the Heart on the CD. And I'm wondering if that's intentional. I wonder if they knew that they had this really magical track and almost felt like, if we kick off the album with this, it is just a steady decline from that point. But if people build up to it, it's more rewarding.
I almost wonder if it has to do with like what they think they are and what they're trying to do, which is a dance band. And like if the songs that I listen to, I don't know, I probably listened to 20 tracks by them or something like that. And a lot of them aren't really songs, you know, in that way, like a house track, it'll have a vocal, but it's like a repeating little hook or whatever. Yeah. Like she does a lot of talky, rappy stuff. Like she doesn't sing out all the time, a little thing. And then it'll be just kind of like a house music beat for a while. And then she'd come back in. They're not like structured with verses and then a bridge in the same way that I wonder if this one felt like an anomaly, because it is kind of more of a pop song, structurally at least. It has these long like breaks with the congas and all that, but it's still kind of more of a pop song. So I wonder if they didn't know that this was the thing when they made it. I mean, that is another DeMake's question. It's like, did you know this was going to be your hit when you wrote it? Maybe not. Maybe they were like, well, let's put this weird pop song that Toa probably doesn't like because it's not his thing or whatever at that back half of the record.
The other thing that I think it goes without saying, but it needs to be said, is like, this song is just swimming in gay club energy. And I think intentionally, like, this song sounds like a drag show runway. Like when I listen to it, and like knowing that they cut their teeth playing drag music festival, like playing Wigstock and stuff like that, makes all the sense in the world. And I would love to, obviously we're 3 straight white men talking about this, but like I would love to, spoiler alert for a future guest that we're having on soon, but Joshua Napier of Fright School is coming back in a couple of weeks. I want to make it a point to ask him about this as well, because I'm wondering if this is one of those early moments of like music that is very much part of the underground getting this huge exposure. And maybe that's why they're kicking off the album with I could see this also just being a statement of like, you guys do not know what you're missing in the New York underground. So we are in 4 minutes going to cram every aspect of the campiness and of the fashion and of the like incredible music that's happening in that scene all into this 4-minute package that you are going to love.
Yeah, I don't know that much about the, underground dance scene in New York City back when I was 8 years old, but like the other song from this year that I associate with that sound, which to me feels even more strongly aligned to that stylistically, would be Vogue.
Yes.
Right? But
100%.
That one to me is even more, because this is more hip hop, right?
Yeah. This is more,
not that this is more hip hop than dance, but it's got a lot.
It's about voguing, which came from the drag scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, this sounds like a party that you want to be at. And I watched a lot of live performances from them at this time, and I cannot picture a more fun live, this song specifically, being in a club and seeing them perform this. The whole time, Lady Miss Kier has 2 dancers with her on either side of her, and they're synchronized dances, and just the style is very cool, and it just makes you want to move. And
that Arsenio performance you sent me, she is singing to perfection and dancing her ass off,
dude,
simultaneously.
It's so fun. You want to be a part of it. And I do have to tell you guys about something I watched around this time, which was so awkward and weird. It was at the VMAs, and they're on the red carpet, and Tabitha Soren. Do you guys remember Tabitha Soren?
I remember that name. Yeah,
she was one of the MTV News people. She had short red hair.
Okay, yeah.
You know who Tabitha Soren is.
Yep.
I always liked Tabitha Soren. She was her and Kurt Loder were the MTV News people, but they're on the red carpet. I think they're nominated for like 5 VMAs, and they're talking about how they just got back from a European tour. And you can YouTube this. It is so awkward. She ends the interview with them by saying, in the States, this summer has not been the best for tours. There's been a lot of trouble selling tickets. Did you find the same thing in Europe? And there's like seriously an uncomfortable 4 to 5 seconds where they're all looking at each other, and not like this is a bit or something. They're all looking at each other like, and then after that uncomfortable pause, they say, no, not for us. And Tabitha quickly ends it by going, great. Well, have a good time. It is the weirdest, most like, I don't understand what she was going. It was almost like a gotcha question or something from Tabitha Soren on the red carpet. But I thought it was a very...
Like, had she heard that they hadn't sold out shows or like something? She had some reason to ask them of all groups, you know?
I also don't know why concert sales were bad in the summer of 1990 or something. I don't understand. It was very weird.
So the 4 of you just got back from tour in Europe, right? How did that go?
It was wonderful. We played to a lot of different crowds, a lot of different nationalities, just kind of proving the point that music is an international language that anybody can understand. Yeah. It was great.
And it was very live.
Very live. In the States, this summer has not been the best year for tours. There's been a lot of trouble selling tickets. Did you find the same in Europe? Was it slow? No?
Not for us.
Good.
Really?
Yeah.
Great. Well, have a good time. We're going to take a quick break right now. We'll be right back with a youth definitely gone wild, Skid Row's Sebastian Bach, more live interviews, Cindy Crawford and LL Cool J. Stick around.
Hey there, One Hit Thunder listeners. Are you ready to take your music to the next level? Well, get ready to rock, because this episode is brought to you by DistroKid, the ultimate digital music distribution service for artists like you. With DistroKid, you can easily upload your songs or albums to online stores and streaming platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube Music, reaching fans all around the globe. But that's just the beginning. DistroKid offers a ton of awesome features like Hyperfollow, which helps you promote your releases and get pre-saves on your songs, all for free. But wait, there's more. The DistroKid app is now available on iOS and Android. With the app, you can manage your releases, track your streaming stats, and even withdraw your earnings, all from the palm of your hand. And for those looking to perfect their sound, check out Mixia. This powerful tool allows you to put the finishing touches on your tracks in minutes, ensuring they sound polished and professional every time. But that's not all. DistroKid has just launched a brand new feature called Instant Share, allowing you to easily share large files securely with collaborators, producers, and more. With Instant Share, you can keep your music streaming at the highest quality while making the best impression possible. So what are you waiting for? Elevate your music career today with DistroKid and unlock a world of possibilities. Possibilities that I know all about because I've been using DistroKid for years. It's seriously great. If you haven't used it before, you're going to love it. And One Hit Thunder listeners get an exclusive offer, 30% off your first year with DistroKid by signing up at distrokid.com/VIP/OneHitThunder. That's distrokid.com/VIP/OneHitThunder.
Zootopia 2 has come home to Disney+.
Let's go!
Get ready for a new case.
We're the greatest partners of all time!
New friends.
Gary the Snake.
And your last name?
The Snake.
Dream Team. And new habitats.
Zootopia has a secret reptile population.
You can watch the record-breaking phenomenon at home. Zootopia 2, now available on Disney+, rated PG. And right now you can get Disney+ and Hulu for just $4.99 a month for 3 months with a special limited time offer. Ends March 24th. After 3 months, plan auto-renews at $12.99 a month. Terms apply.
Bruce Martin, host of Pit Pass Indy. Each week, I go behind the scenes of the NTT IndyCar Series and introduce our listeners to the biggest stars of IndyCar, which features the Indianapolis 500 as its cornerstone event. The men and women that compete in IndyCar may be the bravest athletes in all of sport, as danger lurks around every corner. They are able to look danger in the eye without flinching. That is why the NTT IndyCar Series features the best racing on the planet. Join me every week as we talk to the stars of IndyCar, including the legends of the Indianapolis 500 on Pit Pass Indy from Evergreen Podcast.
In the darkest corners of the internet, a nameless, formless entity has been growing. No one dares question where it was created or what it wants, but those who have been entranced by its musings chant its blood-curdling name in unison. Horror Movie Night!
Find Horror Movie Night on your favorite podcasting app or at hmnpodcast.com.
This song, Groove is in the Heart, went to number 4 on the charts on November 17th of 1990. Only beat out by Alias, More Than Words Can Say, which I don't really remember that song.
No.
MC Hammer's Pray was at number 2.
You gotta pray to make it today.
You
Chris.
got to pray. Pray.
Pray.
I was actually surprised by that because I thought Pray was just a song that I liked. I didn't realize that Pray was a hit. I know You Can't Touch This was a hit, but Pray was also a hit. And the number one...
this is that same record? This is Please Hammer Don't Hurt? Or is this the album after that?
Same record.
Okay. Yeah.
And the number one song at this moment was Love Takes Time from Mariah Carey. Now, Grooves in the Heart was above Whitney Houston's I'm Your Baby Tonight. Great song. At number 6 at this moment, this was at that moment, this Hammer and Vanilla Ice moment, because Ice Ice Baby was at number 6. Poison's Something to Believe In was at 7. Bette Midler's From a Distance was at 10. It was definitely also Bette Midler's moment. Candyman's Knockin' Boots was at 11. And a song, I'm telling you guys, 2 days ago, went to dinner with my mom. And it was my playlist, but I do remember driving to Plaza Azteca to have a good Mexican dinner with my mom. Tony's Feels Good played in the car with my mom and also was number 12 on the charts at this moment. So, this is in my opinion, a very iconic moment when I look at these charts for songs that have stood the test of time. As far as
it's so transitional, right?
Yes.
I also want to stress that 2 of the noteworthy debuts on the charts when this peaked, the 2 most noteworthy songs fit with Deee-Lite like peas and carrots, because you have Madonna's Justify My Love debuting at 46, and we've mentioned them a bunch already. CNC Music Factory, Gonna Make You Sweat, Everybody Dance Now debuting at 74. Like, we were in a mood to fucking dance.
Yeah,
at this point in time.
So these guys, is there any other song that's anything close on the charts? Because I know they had six like number 1 dance tracks, but is this the only one? My theory is the title like really works. Looking at some of their other singles, they have what in 2026 speak we would say is really bad SEO because of other songs. They have a song called What Is Love, a song called Call Me, and these are singles, a song called Power of Love. I'm like, hang on. Maybe there's all these requests on the radio going in of people saying, play Power of Love, and then they're playing Huey, right? Like, Groove is in the Heart. You say that, and everybody can think the entire melody in their head. You say Call Me, you're thinking Blondie.
Yeah.
You say What Is Love, you're thinking the other early 90s dance track. Like,
also, their second album, the lead single is Runaway, a year after Real McCoy already had the song Runaway.
Case in point.
Wow. That's a good looking out on that, Mark. That is so weird to just... it's almost like, were you trying to
game the system a little bit?
I think about that all the time with my band, is like, let's try to name our songs something that hasn't been named that before. And I got to tell you guys, I had a pretty devastating realization after the new Punchline album came out that one of the songs we were pushing is called I Will Wait. I didn't realize that the band Mumford & Sons biggest song was, I didn't even know that. I would have suggested we got to name this song something else.
Hootie also had a really big hit called I Will Wait. There was a couple I Will Waits in the alternative scene.
I mean, good thing your lead single, though, was called Billie Jean. And that one, I don't think anybody's ever used.
This is something to think about, because I will argue that Groove Is in the Heart is bigger than the band Deee-Lite.
Yeah.
And it's worth noting,
for sure.
Matt, I'm telling you this. I will write the description for this episode, but I know that, maybe I'm the more careful one. It's Deee-Lite spelled with 3 E's. It's
3 E's. Yeah.
It's Deee-Lite. So on one hand, they are naming themselves something that no one else would be named. But man, that's a great point. Like naming your songs things that not only are these already song titles, they are very popular songs. Power of Love. Are you kidding me? That's pretty funny.
In that era, in that genre with I think
not even
Love is
Huey.
after this, but
not even Huey. I think at this time, that's the same time Celine Dion has a Power of Love song that's blowing up on the charts. I think that was 1990.
Really?
1990, or maybe that was later in the 90s.
Later.
But that was later.
Yeah.
Chris, something that you know what? I'm just going to share it because I think it's a funny tangent, real quick. But I recently did a giant re-listen of every episode of Reply All, which is still to this day my favorite podcast that's ever been produced. And in the episode, our past guest, Alec Goldman, was trying to solve this mystery where a girl got her Spotify Wrapped playlist back, and her number 2 artist was someone she had never heard of in her entire life. And she couldn't figure out how that had happened. And what they found out was that this particular obscure artist, all of his songs were named like, Alexa, play me some rock music, or like, Alexa, play me some easy listening music. Like, he just named all of his
Gaming
songs,
the system.
stuff like that to game it. And her roommate would say that in the morning. Like, she'd be like, oh, just play on this whatever type of music. And then it would happen.
Who was it
became her second.
Who was it that did the silent tracks to game the Spotify system? Was it Wolfpack who did that?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, put this on when you go to sleep. It's 2 hours of silence or whatever.
Yeah.
get your half a cent.
Yeah. So they have this chart success with this song. You couldn't escape this song on MTV in the early 90s. And in 1992, they release what people consider their politically charged second album, Infinity Within. Now, a lot of cool things to be said about this. First of all, it was the first CD released using EcoPack packaging, cutting the amount of plastic used by half. And
is that the cardboard instead of the...
Yes.
Or...
Yeah.
Nice.
And also, this was also around the time where we started eliminating the long boxes in the stores. The CDs originally came in long cardboard boxes, which before I even knew what a CD was, I would go to the record store to get a cassette and be like, what are these things in these long cardboard boxes? They were on the cutting edge of that, of trying to cut down on the waste created. And it's so funny that they say these are politically charged. These things that they're singing about, for the most part, I mean, I guess, in my opinion, shouldn't even be what you would call political. They should just be common sense. Like, they had a song about the protection of the environment, which, why is that a political issue? Don't we all need to breathe? Don't Republicans need to breathe too? Did
you read the news yesterday, bro? I
know, man.
I know this is coming out in a month, but the thing is, though, that you mentioned, sorry to interrupt that thought, but the second album is when they started, there's safe sex songs and stuff like that. But did you guys rewatch the Groove Is in the Heart video? What's the first thing you see? It's a picture of her doing her fake, talk about international sort of aesthetic, her fake French accent. And she's wearing this white fur, and there's a big like digital neon kind of looking thing saying fake fur pointing at her.
Wow.
And I'm like, wow. Yeah. In 1990, she's calling out like fur is, has gone through a journey, let's just say, of its popularity. That long ago, she's already just like, don't worry, everybody. This isn't like a snow leopard or whatever that I'm wearing. And so even back then, that song, Groove is in the Heart, has nothing to do with politics, but it's a statement, certainly. This style does not equal murder, right? Is kind of what she's saying there. And I thought that was just cool that it starts with that.
She's so fucking cool.
She's really, really cool. Chris,
love
you gotta
her.
reach out.
Praise
You gotta
Kier.
reach out to her for debates.
Dude.
I want her on
gets a
Chris
waffle
Makes
party.
before
Yeah.
this year is over, Fafios.
Good idea. Oh my God, yeah. Hey, I'm gonna try. Look. Also, I guess this goes against my point of this stuff isn't political. The cover of the second album, down in like the corner, it says, let's face it, it's a pro-choice album, which that is something you hear talked about a lot in politics. They donated a portion of the album's profits to Greenpeace. They had a song called Rubber Lover, which is about sexual liberation through safe sex. The failure of the judicial system on a song called Fuddy Duddy Judge, and the importance of voting on a song Vote Baby Vote. This is so cool. They have the singles on this album, Runaway, very much like I could hear this song on Club MTV or The Grind or something.
I dug this song, honestly.
Yeah,
I had fun with Runaway. Yeah.
It's pretty good, but not as memorable as Grooves in the Heart, which you might be setting the bar very high when you talk about memorable.
I think Runaway's next record, actually.
Yeah, we're talking about the second one now.
Yeah,
We've moved
Infinity
on.
Okay. Yeah, sorry.
This, Chris, just happened to see this. Do you know who directed the Runaway music video?
I watched it, but I don't know who directed it.
Gus Van Sant.
Whoa. Wow.
This was an early Gus Van Sant directing gig.
There's also another single from this album called Pussycat Meow, and I think this is very much to Mark's point about these songs being like not songs and more just like pieces of music that would play in a club. I can't believe this was a single. Maybe it was just because it was like a dance club single. The only lyrics to Pussycat Meow are, here, kitty, 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 meow, meow, pussycat, 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 no, 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 kiss me, you fool. Those are the only lyrics to that song. But this is also around the time that Toa started making his exit from the band. He didn't want to do the tours. They had a 9-piece band on their tour, and Toa just wanted to go home and work on music from the comfort of his own home where his records were. He told MTV News, a reason I left Deee-Lite was that I hated the touring. Playing the same songs over and over again every night. I'm not that type of person. I don't like being in front of people. That's just honest. He's just an artist. He's a Brian Wilson like artist, as Matt brought up, and just liked what he liked doing, and the live show and being on tour wasn't part. And I think that it speaks to just being an artist, I think, is, and not a marketing guru or a live performer. No, those things don't always go hand in hand.
Yeah.
After extensive touring, you still had Kier and Dimitri. They weren't given the funding for Infinity Within that they were promised from their Warner contract, which I don't understand. Like, this band had this hit, and they're out there working it. They're out there touring, and I don't know, maybe there was a little bit of a bleed of funding when you have a 9-piece band on the road and, you don't have the follow-up hit. I don't know the details of their contract, but then in 1994, they released their third and final album, Dewdrops in the Garden. At this point, you had a lot of creative differences, intensifying not only between Toa and the group, but I also think between Kier and Dimitri. Deee-Lite, Matt, I don't know if you knew this, but they played at Woodstock 94. towards the
Oh,
end.
that's delightful. They may have been like the opening like pre-show or something. I think there was like a Thursday night small stage where like Parliament Funkadelic I think also played that first day. I want to say one other thing though about Kier, because we're just showering praise on her. Did you happen to catch that even though Toa left the band, she still wanted to like extend an olive branch and was like, I don't know if he took her up on it, but she apparently reached out and was like, hey man, do you want to like remix some of the songs as a bonus track? Or like she really like wanted to keep him involved, which I think is kind of cool. Like
he's
I think
on that
so
third
many
album in a limited capacity.
Yeah, like I think that there's so many other artists that would just be like, fine, you want to quit? Fuck you then. Like,
yeah.
But like she's like, no, you're part of the band. Like even if you're not on this album, why don't you remix a track or two or do something to be part of this, because you are part. Like I think that that's really, really cool and not a thing that a lot of other artists would do after someone quit mid-album. Like,
I wanted to say one more thing about Woodstock 94 as I was trying to find Woodstock 94 Deee-Lite performance, which I didn't find on YouTube, but I did watch a Woodstock 94 pre-show video that I think aired for free. Now, I remember Woodstock 94 being on pay-per-view, and I wasn't, I was 13, 14 years old, and I wasn't allowed to buy it on pay-per-view, obviously. I don't even think we had a box for me to buy it, but it was scrambled and you could hear it. You could still listen to the music, but before it went to scrambled, they had this thing that played like it was a countdown to Woodstock 94, and they were interviewing people who were there, and they were telling the rules and the do's and don'ts. One of the don'ts was don't bring drugs and alcohol, to which when they read that, they actually laughed. And the top do thing was to bring mosquito netting, which I'm like, oh God, I don't know if I'd want to be there if I needed mosquito netting at this thing. But what I thought was especially interesting, keep in mind, this is 1994, Will Arnett was hosting this pre-show thing. And I don't even know what Will Arnett, how he got this gig, or was Will Arnett famous yet in 1994?
I don't know. I'm going to look that up for a second. I was looking up, so I was correct. Deee-Lite played Friday night, which was like the half day of the festival. They had the North Stage set up at that point, and then they had Rave Stock, which was like an all club music stage for that first night.
They also played Sunday, though.
Oh, they did play Sunday as well. Oh, they played twice.
They were
played
probably regulars
twice
at the Rave Stock tent.
Gotcha.
Right?
I did read this very quick, funny story, though, that at Rave Stock, the headliner was Aphex Twin, and that his performance was cut short when the promoters disconnected him mid-set when they realized he signed his contract with a fake name that forfeit them to have any rights to his performance.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I was just like, well, that's wild. But let me see what I'm curious
So
now. What
Will
Arnett is up to?
Literally
in 94.
no films. This is Wikipedia, so take it for what it is. No films in 1994. First film is in 1996. One TV role, Cybermania 94, which is an
I think
awards
it was just
show.
him hosting something. Yeah, he was hosting an award show. He must have just been a guy in the improv scene that they were grabbing for
stuff.
cheap.
Wow. Okay. Well, I inadvertently watched one of Will Arnett's first gigs, I guess, today. And it makes sense that Deee-Lite would be here. I mean, it's the first Woodstock event you've had since the original Woodstock. And of course, you're going to have this band that, even though their music doesn't sound like Woodstock, they look like Woodstock. And I could imagine being at Woodstock 94 when Grooves in the Heart is playing and you're on whatever drugs and whatever. That has to be like a real moment over that weekend. I don't know.
Well, I was thinking about this actually, though, because 1994, a lot has changed. And think about who's at Woodstock 94, who's watching it. Like, was Grooves in the Heart, was Deee-Lite well received?
Yeah.
Like, sure, if you're the Rave Stock people, but like pop culture had moved on to something different in a lot of ways, stylistically. Like, I think, to me, this song, Grooves in the Heart specifically, is just so prototypical early 90s pop music. The 94, like the singles from their third record.
I mean, they broke up
they
in
stuck
94.
out as unusual.
Yeah.
You know?
Sorry, say again, Matt? Woodstock 94 could have been their last show for all we know, because they broke up that year. Yeah. And we're talking the summer of 94. I'm curious if this was like their farewell performance in a lot of ways.
Mark has a good point, because by 94, when you think of Woodstock 94, you really do think of Green Day and Nine Inch Nails being the iconic performances. So yeah, Deee-Lite might not have been a marquee performance, considering I didn't even remember they played at it. The culture had moved on at this point. But we're going to give Deee-Lite their flowers here, because they did have 6 number 1 hits on the U.S. Billboard Hot Dance Club play chart over the 5 years they were together. Kier, still a singer-songwriter and DJ, regarded as a major style icon. Dimitri continued working as a DJ. He was given the DJ of the Year award at Ibiza at one point.
Yeah.
And we're going to praise Kier one more time here. Lady Miss Kier basically rocks. I'm going to tell you some things about her. Obviously, she's a social, environmental, and human rights activist. She was a vocal advocate for LGBTQ rights way before it was fashionable to be that. She's a women's right advocate. She was featured in a TV infomercial in the early 90s promoting pro-abortion rights. It was called The Most Exciting Women in Music, and this is a who's who of cool women. Kim Gordon from Sonic Youth was in it, MC Lyte, Kate Pearson from the B-52s, Crystal Waters, and Tina Weymouth from Talking Heads. This happened in 1991. She's been a vocal supporter of the Get Out the Vote movement. Her Rock the Vote campaign in 1992 was highlighted by Rolling Stone as one of the top 10 major moments in Rock the Vote history. And if you want to know how cool she is, she was a huge supporter of Bernie Sanders in the 2016 election. She hosted an art exhibit at Whole Gallery in New York City and a fundraiser called Burnin' Up New York City to support the Sanders campaign. So she rocks.
Yeah. And you skipped over, she sued Sega. Did you see that?
What exactly happened? They made a character that kind of looked like her?
So there's a character from a game that I have not played on the Dreamcast in the early 2000s or late 90s called Space Channel 5. And there's a character called Ooh La La, which if you listen to their songs, she says Ooh La La all the time, meaning Kier does. And it's a character that looks like her. And she sued them for stealing her likeness. Yeah. And they had actually approached it. It looks just like a lot of her looks. And like her name seems like an homage. And apparently they had contacted her, like Sega, like the American Sega of America, whatever, had contacted her. Hey, can we use your songs in promotions for this game? And then I guess at that point she looked and went, wait, what? But they were found not to be in violation. Wow. And that, like, they said, well, the Japanese team made this game 3 years ago and they didn't even know who you were or whatever. And she lost hard enough that they made her pay their legal fees, which was hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Whoa.
So it's crazy, though, just because on the surface of it, you're like, oh, yeah, totally. Like, it looks like her. It's her catchphrase. They wanted her in the ads, or her song in the ads, obviously. But then she lost bad. So I don't know, like it's like this weird early 2000s chapter in her journey as an awesome person is going after the video game industry for not paying people's, like, you know, way in advance of the Last of Us controversy and all that stuff that would come later.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's nuts.
That sucks that she lost. I mean, it is pitting two things I do like against each other, Miss Kier and Sega. I do like both of those things. At this point, I had moved on from Sega. Dreamcast I never had, but wow, that sucks. Yeah. She lost that. But in general, Miss Kier rocks. Guys, we're going to talk Thunder Blunder, but before we do that, are you interested in playing a game?
Oh, I need to take Mark down.
The answer is Sega to every question. Yeah, let's do it.
No Sega questions. Hey, if you know the answer, you can bug it. You can buzz in by how are we buzzing? There's so many options of ways to buzz in. Mark,
hang on. I have something. Hang on.
Okay. Oh, if he has a slide whistle, He's grabbing something.
He's running off to the back. I think he's getting a slide whistle.
Oh yeah! I knew it was going to be. I knew it was going to be a slide whistle. I love it. Matt, do you have your
because I have crap in the background on the call. Yeah.
What does Matt have?
Like kazoo.
Okay, yeah, that's
kazoo.
There you go. Listeners, if you hear a slide whistle, that is Mark buzzing in. If you hear a kazoo, it is Matt. This is the best buzz-ins we've ever had. Okay.
Love it.
Basically, if you know the answer without the multiple choice, you can buzz in. Make sure you know the answer, because if you do it without the multiple choice and you get it wrong, you're going to get minus a point. And then if you both agree you need the multiple choice, I'll read those. You can buzz in. You won't lose a point if you try to answer it with the multiple choice. So basically, buzz in only if you know the answer before the multiple choice, or you'll lose a point. Okay. You guys ready?
Is there a theme?
It's
1990.
Groove is in the heart / 1990. That's the theme. Okay. In 2018, which Netflix series used Groove is in the Heart for an abortion sequence?
I think I'm going to need the multiple choice already right out the gate on this
Same.
one.
A, Maniac. B, BoJack Horseman. C, Glow. Or D, Big Mouth.
What was the year again?
2018.
2018.
Go ahead, Mark.
Glow?
No, that is incorrect.
No, it wouldn't have been Glow. Glow is 80s.
You're right.
It was 80s wrestling. I'm torn between the two animated options. I think BoJack Horseman would go for something that fucked up. So I'm going to say BoJack Horseman.
That's incorrect, man. It was actually Big Mouth.
Really?
Yep.
Who got they're in middle school?
I don't know what episode. I just read that. Okay. No score.
Okay.
On the same day that Groove is in the Heart went to number 4 on the Hot 100 in November of 1990, what American singer-songwriter crashed his Harley Davidson and broke his leg, ankle, and shoulder?
Do you need multiple choice on this one, Mark?
Same.
Yeah, multiple choice.
A, David Crosby. B, Paul Simon. C, Art Garfunkel. Or D, Billy Idol. Go ahead, Matt.
It was Billy Idol.
That is incorrect.
Whoa, no. Okay.
Go ahead, Mark.
Crosby.
That's correct.
Damn it.
Yeah.
I was thinking Crosby, and then you said Billy Idol, and I remembered that he got in an accident and couldn't be the T-1000.
That's right.
In Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
But Matt, you need to
but
pay
he's not a singer-songwriter.
You need to pay attention to detail, because I said, what American singer-songwriter?
Oh, God damn it. I also wouldn't classify Billy Idol as a singer-songwriter under most.
I mean,
It's funny because my brain went to Art Garfunkel. I was like, isn't the whole thing the fact that he's a singer but not really a songwriter? That was Simon.
There you go. I mean, Billy Idol's a singer-songwriter, right? He's both.
I guess when I think, sorry, you're not wrong. When I
He's not
think of
acoustic.
singer-songwriter,
Yeah.
I do think of like a guy with an acoustic guitar doing folk music.
I got you. All right, Mark takes a 1-0 lead.
Okay.
In the same month that Groove is in the Heart hit its Billboard peak, what R&B singer, known for songs such as Kill Bill and Shirt, was born in St. Louis, Missouri? Go ahead.
I'm taking a real risk here, but was that SZA?
That is SZA. You got it.
Yes!
2 points for Matt. He jumps out to a 2-1 lead with 4 questions to go. Which beloved John Hughes film was released 1 week before Groove is in the Heart hit its Billboard peak in November of 1990? Oh, I think Matt got right in. Go ahead, Matt.
I'm so afraid I'm wrong, but Home Alone?
You got it.
Yes.
Did you know that, Mark?
I was going for it.
Damn.
I didn't know that I knew it, but I knew that film, and that was the right era. I was going to guess it. So, yeah.
I heard the kazoo slightly before I heard the slide whistle. Damn it. I'm sorry. Okay. 4-1. It's not over yet, Mark. I think you can get him.
Yeah.
The same month that Groove is in the Heart hit its Billboard peak in November of 1990. Which Madonna music video was banned from MTV amid international controversy over its sexually explicit content? Mark gotcha. Mark.
Is this Like a Prayer?
That is incorrect.
Oh,
I said it earlier.
So
Justify my love.
It was Justify My Love.
Crap.
Matt just... Wow. So Mark loses
He
a
killed
point.
me in one turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is now 6.
So now we're 6-0?
Yeah, it's now 6-0.
6-0.
How many questions?
2.
Okay.
So I don't know.
I'm trying to get on the board at all.
Yeah, okay. Just a few weeks before Groove is in the Heart hit its Billboard peak, Pearl Jam played their first show as a band at the Off-Ramp Club in Seattle. Except they weren't called Pearl Jam yet. What were they called?
Oh, fuck. If you give me the multiple choice, I'll get this.
Same. I literally, this came up recently.
Yeah.
A. Drazen Petrovic. B. Derek Coleman. C. Roy Hinson. Or D. Mookie Blaylock. All right, go ahead, Mark.
Mookie Blaylock.
Yeah, you got
That's
it.
the one.
Yep, that's why their album's called 10, because that was his number, right?
Yep, that's correct.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
All right, Mark's on the board at 6-1. Final
Yes.
question. There's a good chance he was conceived to the sounds of Deee-Lite. Which actor, known for playing a famous king, was born exactly 9 months after Groove is in the Heart hit its Billboard peak?
I'll need the multiple choice, but...
Jeez, yeah.
Okay, there's a good chance he was conceived to the sounds of Deee-Lite. Which actor, known for playing a famous king, was born exactly 9 months after Groove is in the Heart hit its Billboard peak? A. Austin Butler. B. Charlie Hunnam. C. Gerard Butler. Or D. Chadwick Boseman.
I don't. This
Go ahead,
is
Matt.
weird. Yeah.
D? Chadwick Boseman?
That is incorrect.
Okay.
Can I hear the first three again? The first two, really.
A. Austin Butler. B. Charlie Hunnam. C. Gerard Butler.
Austin Butler?
You got it.
What did he play King?
He played the king, Elvis.
Oh. Oh, God damn it.
Yep.
I'm like sitting here trying to be like, do we count Black Panther as a king?
I'm thinking like none of those guys were in Game of Thrones or
Yeah,
anything.
that's what I
What's
was
the deal?
Okay.
Sorry, Chris made me laugh because he's... I'm not sure if you've
I was just
heard...
going based on age, really, fundamentally.
Mark, I don't know if you had time to listen to our debut episode that came out this week, but Chris started one of those questions with, her parents certainly weren't doing it in the butt in 1988.
I guess they always got to keep it classy over there in One Hit Thunder. Yeah.
Whenever it's that this person could have been conceived to the sweet sounds of, I lose it.
Makes me laugh. Okay. Thunder or blunder on Deee-Lite? We're going to start with Mark. How are you feeling about Deee-Lite?
I feel like listening to all their rep, I wasn't like, oh my God, I love so much of this. I don't know that there's anything that I'm desperate to come back to, but Groove is in the Heart is such an iconic like staple of an era, and it's got a great 50 different hooks in that. Like it single-handedly revitalized the slide whistle industry. I think it's got to be Thunder, and they seem like cool people. Even in their disagreements, they're cool. Like they break up and they're still, well, why don't you be on our album? Or like they're going and doing their own thing. Nobody's like embarrassed themselves in the recent decades, it seems. So I feel like overall, we got to go Thunder on Deee-Lite.
Okay. Matt?
I agree. I think that everything Mark said is right. Like, I didn't have that many songs that I loved. I liked the Runaway song. Nothing hit me the way that Groove is in the Heart hit me, but I want people to stream this music just because they're really, like, they just seem like the coolest trio of musicians in the world. And, like, I don't know. This is one of those rare times where I'm giving Thunder not because I believe in the music as much as I just truly believe in the human beings that created this music deserve the respect of getting some extra pennies for people streaming their music somewhere.
I feel like we're really being hypocrites here by saying we're putting the artist over the art with our opinions here to a certain extent. Not when it comes to the song Groove is in the Heart. We can all agree this song is awesome. Beyond that song, I really thought I was going to love Deee-Lite. I thought, and I really, beyond Groove is in the Heart, was a little disappointed, I got to say. Just, I think their music lends itself to being in a club in 1990 in New York City and it being the musical backdrop to everything that's going on. But if I was at Woodstock 94 and Deee-Lite was on the stage, I'm probably psyched for Grooves in the Heart, and then the rest of it, I'm like, okay.
I did find footage from the performance that I'm going to send both of you guys as soon as we're done this recording. But even just watching it on mute, I'm like, they're a hell of a live band. You can just tell, like, the energy is there, which I think is the other reason why I don't mind saying that I'm going to support this for the artist over the art, because there's also a very real chance, based on that Arsenio performance even, that maybe the energy of the live show just could never quite make it to record.
Yeah.
The way that Groove is in the Heart somehow worked out on record.
You just brought up the Butt episode that we did.
Yeah.
A month or two
I would
ago.
pick this over Debutt, like EU. I would want to watch. I would, if EU and Deee-Lite are both playing a concert in my town and I have to go to one of them, I'm going to Deee-Lite. I'm going to have the time of my life at Deee-Lite, because I think that it's just going to be a crazy live show. And I loved EU's live show as well.
I think EU and Deee-Lite would go perfectly together in concert. I could see EU being the backup band on some Deee-Lite songs. And so the reason I bring up EU is because I think it's the same thing I said about them. This group in the right environment in a live setting would be great, but to just put on and listen to songs, and I listened to all 3 albums.
Yeah.
It doesn't tickle my fancy. It's not something I necessarily want. I wanted to find more songs I liked. I really didn't. Love Grooves in the Heart. Think they're really cool. I am going to err on the side, though, of Thunder. I'm going to go Thunder, but for slightly different reasons. I think this band, I'm not doing it. Obviously, I'm the first person in the world who loves outspoken artists and wants to praise a artist on the right side of history. And I just think the music lends itself more towards like a live event. And but I think all in all, this is a certified Thunder. So
hell yeah,
Kier can be checking her mailbox for a certificate from us that is notarized. But Mark, before we go, I do want to talk about Nevermind the Music. For anyone who hasn't subscribed yet, go subscribe. We've talked about Nevermind the Music a lot of times. You go into music in ways that are different than you normally would from the psychology side and also from the music theory side of things. So what else can you tell us about what you got coming up on Nevermind the Music?
Yeah, so my co-host is a psychologist. I'm a musician. We pick apart songs, and I talk about some nerdy songwriting tricks. She talks about some nerdy psych trick, right? So I think our last main episode was Shania Twain. We did Man, I Feel Like a Woman, and I'm talking about like key changes and stuff like that. And she's talking about feminism through, fashion choices and stuff. In our next episode, we're doing Linkin Park, where we're talking about, honestly, like what happens when you have a new singer with a very different style and like how that kind of can add or disrupt to the band and stuff. So yeah, we're two college professors that try to like joke around instead of take it seriously. But, you know, we talk about cool songs and we have fun. And can I shout out music also?
Yeah,
sure. Oh, yeah. Slacademics has an album coming out, right?
Of course.
Yeah. So check out Never Mind the Music, please. Give us a subscribe and a listen. But yeah, my band, I'm in a indie ska pop band called the Slacademics. Me and a bunch of other overeducated musicians who just want to make simple, fun music. We've got a record coming out. We've got a few singles that have come out already, but next month you can already pre-order it on Bandcamp. But yeah, check out our singles. Give us a listen. Chris has listened to some of it. Yeah, it gets the Fafalius thumbs up. Yeah.
I give it. It's absolute thunder. Slacademics.
Sweet.
Make sure you check it out. I mean, maybe I'm the prime audience for, you know, pop, ska, punk influenced music, but I think it's great. I think it's also, I really appreciated you're saying it's simple, but there's a musical complexity to you guys that I don't hear in a lot of that music that I can really appreciate, you know?
Chris, I guess it's all relative when you're talking about college professors of music making a band.
Yeah.
It's like, is it free jazz? No. Is it classical music? No. It's ska. It's simple. But no, I mean, there's a whole conversation we can have about that. But like, I'm trying to make it simple. And gosh, I should say, like, never mind the music. Fans of this podcast, both of you have been on our show recently. Yep. So we have guest spots. Matt, you were talking about the 90s weird feeding frenzy of the record labels for goofy alternative bands. That was an awesome episode. Chris, you were talking about picking a track list on an album and like what goes into that. Yeah. So a lot of punchline in that conversation.
Yeah.
So yeah. Check us out, folks.
Hey,
thanks for having me on, guys.
Maybe Matt, you could take them away with a little sampling of a Slacademic songs at the end of this episode.
I'll do that.
I got to end this by saying recently we got a Spotify comment that said, it was such a passive aggressive comment that said, what did it say? Oh, it was refreshing to hear you end the episode with something other than a punchline song. And I want to make this known. I want to make this known because we've been called out before. Any punchline talk on One Hit Thunder, it's just because like I'm in that band and like if I'm relating to something, it's through my experience in basically the band that I've spent my life in. But Matt playing the punchline songs at the end of the episode, that is pure Matt. That is not me. Yeah. That is not me insisting we got to end every episode with a punchline song. That is just Matt being a nice friend to his co-host wanting to promote punchline. So don't blame me for always forcing punchline music down your throat, okay?
To be fair on two fronts, and I'm keeping all this in the episode.
Yes, do.
Thing one, it was in reference to the fact that I played a new edition song.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't even have anything to do with the guest that was on the episode. But hey, like, you know what? Shit works. As a guy who has been the merch guy for Punchline for many a show, I can say that almost every show that I have done merch for Punchline, at least one person comes up and says, I didn't even really know this band until I started listening to One Hit Thunder.
Wow.
So it does help my buddy's band.
You know what?
Gain some new fans.
You know what? Fuck Slacademics. Play a punchline song.
This has been One Hit Thunder. One Hit Thunder is hosted by Chris Fafalius of the band Punchline and produced by Matt Kelly of Geekscape.net. Underneath me, you're hearing This Dance by the Slacademics, which is fronted by this week's guest, Mark Popeney. Their new album, Pass Fail, comes out on April 3rd, so keep your ears and eyes open for that. Our podcast is on Patreon. Find us at patreon.com/OHT podcast for early access to episodes, bonus conversations, and a chance to vote for future songs for us to cover. Support the podcast also by buying a shirt or a hat or a mug or whatever else at our merch store at onehitthunder.dashery.com. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe to us on your favorite podcasting app, and tune in next week for more One Hit Thunder.
This dance, do you know this dance? Do you know this dance? Look into my eyes, do you know this dance? Do you know this dance? Do you know this dance?
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.